First story, you guys are going to have to know some things though. This first story has to do with a boy named Jack, and he has 3 dogs. Their names are Barney McCabe, Doobledy-Doo, and Sue Boy. And when he calls them, this is what he does. He goes, Barney McCabe, Doobledy-Doo, and Sue Boy, your master's calling you. And you guys have to do that with me. All right?
No.
Yes, you got to. You got to. Here we go.
Yeah,
Because you got to learn how to call the dogs, because you're going to have to call the dogs in the story. All right? Here we go. Got to call the dogs. Okay. Barney McCabe, Doobledy-Doo, and Sue Boy, your master's calling you. All right. Now, whenever that happens and the dogs start to come, this is what the dogs do. They go, Master, Master, coming all the time. 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 Okay, you guys have to do that with me. Here we go. Let's try it. Master, Master, coming all the time. 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 Now, in this story, there's also a witch. And she has her own song. And it goes like this. It goes, chip on the old block, chip on the new block, chip on the old block, give me chip on the new block. Can you guys do that? Let's try that. Here we go. Chip on the old block, chip on the new block, chip on the old block, chip on the new block. Okay. During the story, when the witch comes, you're going to have to help me out. When the dogs run, you're going to have to help me out. And when Jack calls his dogs, you're going to have to help me out. So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. And Jack lived out in the woods. And he liked to go out in the woods and play. But there's a witch in his woods. So he couldn't go outside and play very much. Well, one day, Jack, it was a beautiful day, just like today, and he went out and he told his mom, and he said, Mom, I want to go out and play in the woods. She said, no, you can't go out and play in the woods. The witch will get you. Well, Jack, he's a pretty big, strong guy. He said, oh, Mom, I'm not worried about any witch. And she said, oh, you cannot go. He said, I'll tell you what, Mom. So he went out to the barn, and he picked up 3 pieces of corn. Now, these weren't just any pieces of corn. These were magic pieces of corn. And he brought them in, and he showed them to his mom. And he said, Mom, I can use these. And he took a glass of milk, poured it, and put it on the table. And he said, if that milk turns to Kool-Aid, you need to let the dogs loose because you know we're in trouble. Well, Mom felt a little better, and she said, if you take your sister Mary, and you promise to be home before dark, then you can go. So Jack said, promise. So he stuffed those pieces of corn in his pocket. He took his sister Mary's hand, and they started walking out in the woods, and it was a beautiful day. Sun was shining, birds were singing. They were walking. They walked a little further, a little further, a little further. Started to get a little darker, a little darker. And Mary said, Jack, it's starting to get dark. We've got to get home. Jack said, okay, well, we'll just turn around and go home. So he turned around and lost. Jack said, that's okay. What we'll do is we'll walk a little further, see if we can find a place. We'll stay the night. First thing in the morning, we'll go home. So they walk a little further, and they're really close together, and they see a little house. And they say, let's go there. We'll stay the night. So he goes and he knocks on the door. He knocks again. A woman comes to the door and she says, children, what are you doing out there? It's getting dark, and don't you know there's a witch in those woods? You better come in and stay the night. First thing in the morning, you can go home. So they came in and they ate up her food, and they went upstairs and went right to sleep. It wasn't very long until Jack heard some singing downstairs. And it went like this. Chip on the old block, chip on the new block, chip on the old block, chip on the new block. Which means she's the witch, yes. So Jack gets up. He wakes his sister Mary up. He says, Mary, Mary, we gotta go. He pulls out his first magic piece of corn, throws it out on the ground, and pumpkins go everywhere. He picks up those pumpkins, puts them in bed, covers them up so it looks like they're still in bed. And so he says, let's go to the window. They go to the window, and there's a tree outside the window. They climb down that tree, and they're running as fast as they can. And they're running down that trail, and that witch, she comes upstairs. She said, I've gotcha. She pulled those covers back, and pumpkins there, she'd been tricked the first time, and she flew out that window. And Jack and Mary, they're running, and that witch, she's coming after him, and Mary's going, Jack, the witch is going to get us. Well, Jack pulled out his second magic piece of corn, threw it on the ground, and it made a giant tree, and he and Mary went to the very top. So they're up there, and that witch, she comes to the bottom of the tree, and she says, I'm just going to get an axe and chop this tree down, and then I'll have you. And she starts chopping and singing, and she's singing, Chip-on-the-over, 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 chip-on-the-over. Now about this time at home, Mom's getting pretty worried. She goes out and she looks at that milk in the kitchen and what's it turned into?
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. What's she supposed to do?
Let the dogs loose.
That's right. And from the top of the tree, Jack could see her do that, and he calls for his dogs. And he goes, Marty McCabe, Julie Doo, and Sue Boy, your master's calling you. Here come the dogs. Master, coming on the turn. 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 Well, that witch, she scared dogs. So she starts chopping and singing faster. And she's singing, chip on and roll, chip on and roll, chip on and roll, chip on and roll. Jack calls his dogs again. Marty McCabe, Doobly-Doo, and Sue Boy, your master's calling you. Here come the dogs. Master's coming all the time. 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 But their dogs come to a screeching halt because there's a river between the dogs and the tree. Now Jack, he has one last magic piece of corn. And if he throws it really good and really hard, he can maybe make a bridge from the one side of the river to the other. So he takes it out, he winds up, closes his eyes, and he throws it, and he looks, and he makes the bridge, and he calls his dogs one more time. Marty McCabe, Doobly-Doo, and Sue Boy, your master's calling you. Here come the dogs. Master, coming all the time. 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 Those dogs pick up that witch, throw her in the river, and that's the last time Jack and Mary ever have to worry about a witch in their woods. Now, who was the good guy?
The dogs.
The dogs, right? Yeah, the dogs were good guys. Who was the main guy that they kept talking about?
Jack.
Jack, yeah. Who was the bad guy?
The witch.
The witch. What was the problem?
They went exploring the woods and found the witch's hut, and they couldn't find their way home.
That's true. They couldn't find their way home, and they want to play in the woods, right? And they can't play in the woods because the witch is there and won't let them. So how do they fix that problem? What do?
They take 3 pieces of magic corn.
They take 3 pieces of magic corn, but what does the dog do to the witch?
Throw her in the river.
Goes in the river, and that gets rid of the witch. So their problem is they've got a witch in their woods, so they can't play, and they fix it because the dogs throw in the river, and that's it. So remember that when we start to write your story. We're going to tell one more story, and then we're going to start to write yours. Yes?
I have one question about my story.
Okay.
Can it be scary?
It can be. Yes, it can be. All right, for this story, there's something that all of you are going to need to know, too. For this story, there's also going to be a monster. That's why your story can be scary, because there's monsters in all your stories.
Mine's going to be Minecraft. You're one. This is going to be a story about monsters.
All right. This story is a story about the swamp monster, Gotico. Okay? And this swamp monster is so bad that he has 2 heads. And when he breathes out, it sounds like that. When he breathes in, it sounds like that. But what I need for you guys to do, and we're going to practice this, when he breathes out, you have to stand up. So let's try that. When he breathes in, you got to sit down. There we go. tell some things that are the same in this story that were in the other story, because these are all Appalachian tales.
We don't live in the swamp. Oh, I live in woods with a witch. Dude, witches aren't real.
And the swamp monsters.
They can be. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay.
No,
This
they
is
can't
also about a guy. And what do you
They
think
can't
his
be.
name is?
be. Jack?
Jack. Yes. These are called Jack Tales. This
What
is
about
about
Zach?
a guy.
Jack
No,
I went to a play and saw a Jack Tail.
Well, yes. Yes.
The
There's
one
a lot of
where
Jack Tales.
there's the king and he has that little bottle and it has the blower stuff.
Okay. I don't
Have you ever
know.
heard of that
I
one?
don't think I have.
Let's call him Zach for a different name.
Well, we're going to call this one Jack, but you can call your guy Zach. We'll come back
I'll
to
call
that.
mine
Okay?
Steve. No, I'm gonna call my guy Steve.
So,
It's my
here we go.
Alex.
Jack was walking down the road one day. And he's just walking down the road. And while he's walking down the road, he happens to see a farmer. And this farmer, he's sitting on the side of his farm. And he's doing this. He's going, oh.
Nelson.
Yes, he was. He's crying. Crying. Oh, just go. Jack was like, what is wrong with you? And he said, oh my gosh. He said, my only daughter, the swamp monster has her. Well, Jack said, well, I'll just go get her. And he said, oh no, Jack. No. No one has ever gone into the swamp and come back. The swamp monster gets them, turns them into stone, and they never are found again. Well, Jack said, I can go get that swamp monster. The farmer says, if you get the swamp, if you can get my daughter from the swamp monster, I will let you marry her and you can have all my farmland. And Jack said, well, that's a deal. So Jack, he was pretty clever. Jack knew that in the swamp there was something called the fireflies. And the fireflies, they were known to fly around at night. But they were really hard to catch. But if you could catch one and hold on to it until morning, it had to answer any question you had. And those fireflies were flying all over, and Jack was rolling around, acting like he was asleep, and he'd get closer and closer. There were more and more of them, and then he got one of them, got it in his sack, and those fireflies, they were just going here, there, and the next place. All night long, he held onto that sack until the morning. Finally, in the morning, he let the firefly out, and it said, what do you want to know, Jack? Anything you want to know, I will tell you. And he said, I want to know how I can get into the swamp and back out without the swamp monster knowing. And that's when the firefly said, well, the swamp monster, because he has two heads, he breathes so loudly that if you step up, when he breathes out, down, when he breathes in, up, when he breathes out, down, when he breathes in, you can creep in and out without him ever knowing. So Jack said, thank you very much. So he starts going into the swamp, and he's feeling pretty good until all of a sudden, who should he see but the dreaded two-headed swamp monster.
Oh, that looks pretty creepy.
And there was the swamp monster, and he didn't know what to do.
That's snakehead?
No, that's a turtle, and that's a, I think it's a beaver.
Oh my god, that's pretty big.
And then Jack remembered what he was supposed to do. And when that swamp monster would breathe out, out and in he would go. And suddenly, he saw the farmer's daughter. And she had turned to a piece of stone. And she was crying out in the swamp.
No, that's creepy.
And he thought she was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. And he grabbed that piece of stone and he went out and in and out and in all the way through the swamp while the swamp monster was breathing really heavy, sleeping. And he got her out, and when he got her to the edge of the swamp, she turned back into the young woman that she was. And that is how Jack became the owner of all the property that you can see because he saved the farmer's daughter in the swamp monster. So, who was the good guy in this one?
Jack.
Jack again. And who is the bad guy?
The swamp monster.
Swamp monster. Now, both of these stories took place somewhere. The first one took place in the woods because that's where they were. The second one took place in the swamp. And when I think about where we live, there's something great big around where we live that really...
An ocean.
It's not an ocean. What is it?
A lake.
A lake. Okay, so we have a lake. So, if we're going to write our story, we've decided that his name's Zach instead of Jack, right? So we've got Zach. And it's going to have to be something at the lake. What lives in Ulster Lake?
Monsters.
Turtles.
A turtle. Okay.
My mom told me
This
this.
is going to be a ferocious turtle. What kind of ferocious turtle are we going to
It's a
have?
giant snapping turtle.
A giant snapping turtle. All right. We've got a giant snapping turtle. So what is this giant snapping turtle? What is going to be the problem with him? Does he eat all the boats that come into the lake? Or
Sure.
what does he do?
Yeah. So he's someone who goes into the lake. Did you say soar or sword?
He eats everybody that goes into the lake. So that's a pretty bad thing. Nobody can swim in the lake. They can't ski in the lake. They can't boat in the lake.
They can't live on the lake.
They can't do anything because the turtle is eating them all. So we've got a man-eating turtle in our lake. So what is going to happen? What are they going to have to? What's Zach going to have to do about this turtle? What is he going to do? Now we know that in that first story he had magic pieces of corn and he had some dogs to help him out. We know in the second story he had those little fireflies that were kind of magic too to help him out. So is he going to have somebody that helps him?
Yes.
Okay, who's going to help him?
Steve.
What?
Minecraft.
What is it going to be?
Minecraft.
Mine?
That's what Steve is from. Walking. That's what Steve is from. World. Minecraft. That can help everyone. It's knowledge. You can't play around lakes. See?
It's supposed to be a
You're
person,
crazy.
though.
You don't know what Minecraft is.
It's got to be a thing. It has to be, maybe it could be a dog, or it could be a duck. It could be a... Do we want to have a helpful duck that helps? No helpful ducks? What about a big catfish that helps him out?
Yeah. A shark.
A shark. Don't have to be a shark in the lake.
That could be. No. Sharks live in the salty water ocean. Maybe it could come from the Mississippi River.
Somebody's going to help him. So who's it going to be?
A giant catfish. A puppy doggy.
A puppy dog. I like that. Okay, a puppy dog's going to help him.
Really?
All right. What is that puppy dog going to bring him where he can get rid of this turtle?
A magic wand.
A magic wand. Ooh, what do puppy dogs carry around a lot of times?
Bones. Puppy dog. A magic mining bone.
A magic bone. Okay.
Mining bone.
A mining bone?
Ooh, three pieces of magic. That's a mod for Minecraft, a magical mining bone.
So this magic bone that this dog brings to him, what can it do to the turtle?
Turn it into stone, ice, blow it up. Because the mining bone. You turn the dynamite. You want to stick a dynamite? Turn it into ice and freeze it to death. Into the water.
It could turn it to ice. It could turn it to stone. You had it blowing up.
No.
Not blow it up.
If you dig a giant the bone, it'll make a. Just hit the ground. Boom. Hit the turtle. Ooh, maybe the bone turns out. Maybe the turtle hit the turtle. Wait, the bone to do is to set up the lake. Then flip it out when the monster leaves.
It could,
The bone turns out to be a stick of dynamite. No. Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, we're gonna wait for a minute because we've not heard from Jacob over here. This Jacob. Jacob, what do you want the bone to do? What's it going to do to the turtle? Is it going to turn him into stone, gonna blow him up. What would you like it to do?
I could turn it into stone.
Okay, there it is. The
And
bone.
then you blow up the stone.
Yeah! I'll do anything for blowing up stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Have
Okay.
TNT in some of that stone.
Dude, that's mine. Yeah.
So our
That
story
helps
goes
my
like something like this: that there's in the lake this huge man-eating snapping turtle. Does it have a name? Yes.
That's
The ginormous
Ginormous snapping turtle. Okay, I don't even know how to spell that, but I'll figure it out.
Jacob, you're a good scholar. How do you spell that, honey?
Ginormous.
not this, Jacob. No, I don't want.
I will look that up. A ginormous snapping. Okay, ginormous snapping turtle lives in the lake, and he does not allow anyone to come in. And if they do, he snaps them up.
Is this true?
Oh, you're making it. I'm so excited.
Oh.
And so Zach has been asked to save Sumner County from the ginormous snapping turtle. And he didn't know what to do until his trusty dog named, what was his name? Steve? Was that the name?
Yes. Steve.
Steve the dog.
Steve
Okay.
O'Brien.
Steve
No.
O'Brien? Okay.
No, Steve.
No,
it was just
Ryan.
It was just Steve. S-T-E-V. Steve O'Brien.
Okay, so Steve comes with his bone, and Zach says, what am I supposed to do with that bone? And he says, my bone is a magic bone. If you can get close to that snapping turtle and have him snap it up, it'll turn him to stone.
And then blew him up. Yeah.
We'll have to blow him up later. They'll cart him out to the rock yard. How's that?
And then blow him up.
Oh, wait, no. They took my hand. No, they took pick that friend and stick it on him and just that's you, Jack.
But you know what? When they blow him up in the yard, they have to get rid of all those pebbles and they dump them back into Old Hickory Lake, and that's why we have so many little snapping turtles in there now, because they're all the descendants of ginormous. Okay? I think we have our story. I will write it up. I will send it to your den leader, and so that you guys can see it before we send it out. But
Are we
have
gonna start
to-
writing our own story now?
You just did.
What,
You just
that whole
wrote
thing?
the story.
I thought we were all
Okay,
gonna write
Sharon,
I thought
no.
it was gonna be touchdown homework.
We're going to do one other
I
story.
hate Cub Scout homework.
There's not going to be homework. No
I
homework.
think the boy that just said that is the one that's a guest tonight.
Oh.
Never even given him a homework.
Yeah, he's a pack full of his sense. He's a pack full of his sense, Mom.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I've done Cub Scout homework.
We do that.
Okay.
But I've never been a teacher, so.
Me too. I feel the same one.
I hate it.
I love it.
We don't have to do it.
How dare you? Here's my
We
magic
do it
bone.
every day.
I can say throw the bones.
Here's Herobrine's magic pickaxe. Pick in the head.
Ah,
Oh, here's Steve's.
take his head off. Take his head off.
That's my track.
Okay, guys.
Take his head off with your magical figure.
There is another group of people who have been around this area a lot, which were the Native Americans. And so we're also going to do a Native American story. So I'm going to do one with you.
What about my
Native American stories are how things happen. So since I think we've got time, we'll do the story, and then we're going to write a story on how something happened.
I'm put Indian.
Okay.
Ooh, because he is a Choctaw Indian. Choctaw.
This, you range.
I'm bringing back the old nickname, Winston. What's up, Choctaw?
You
Bring back
are
the old nickname.
thunder.
Yeah.
You are
Are these these?
ducks. And you are the animals. Okay.
He's on a deer dog.
Yes.
He's a turtle.
He has. And this was
Is that a dead turtle?
This was used by a lot of people who were Cherokee when they had little babies and they get teeth and they teeth on them. They would get a piece of bark and they'd make it very wet and then they'd put some kind of either pebbles or corn on the inside, wrap it around, let it dry, and then the baby would have a rattle and they'd put off their teeth on it. And this is a rain slip.
Deer hooves.
It's the bark off of a tree.
I'm the one who's holding deer hooves.
And this is a cactus. And what they do is they pull the thorns off and then put something on the inside, turn the thorns the other way, and now you hear the...
Sounds like rain.
Yeah, it sounds like rain. Call the rain. So, when I tell a story, do not play your item until I point
This
to
is
you.
creepy.
And once I point to you, start playing it and don't stop until the end of the story, okay? In fact, I need to give you a different thing to do that because I'm going to use this other thing. All right. A long time ago, the Great Spirit created the whole world, and he was walking along the earth, and he was looking around, and it was all beautiful.
It's weird. Creepy.
And he was looking at the whole earth, and he said, "Oh, it's so pretty! Look at all the colors, and the trees, and the flowers, and the mountains." And then all of a sudden, he noticed. And he said, "There's some sounds." So he made rain. And the rain came down, and he liked the rain, and the rain was really nice, a soft sound. After too many days of rain, it can be depressing. So he said, "I need something with a little punch." So he made thunder to go with the rain. So got thunder and rain, and it's great. But then he decided he needed something else. So he made the insects. And he had bees buzzing and all kinds of insects going around. So I need something else. So then he made the animals. And he had cows mooing and bees buzzing and thunder and rain. But he still needed something else. And then he made people. And then he made people. And out of it, that's when they were music. And that's how music came to be.
Can I play a little bit more?
Not yet.
I know. And it's gross because these are deer hooves. Yeah, get them away from me.
Or the horns, yeah.
And speaking of music, I'm going to play something for you guys real fast.
Hey!
I'm going to play this instrument for you because I like it. And this is a Native American flute.
Who's going to play that?
Sorry about that. Well, I may not be playing it tonight. So, covering my air hole. So what the Native Americans like to do is they like to try to figure out, why is there a rainbow there? Why are there stars in the sky? And they always would create stories to figure out why things were the way they are. So what is something in nature that you wish you knew why it was?
How Slenderman can go on.
Connor, in nature.
Slenderman lives in the forest.
Connor, it's Minecraft.
No,
Oh.
Slenderman.
Whatever it
It's
is.
a game of tag.
Okay. Connor, ask something realistic.
What's something in nature that you wonder how it came to be? No idea.
If turtle shells or shell or bones.
Okay. How the turtle got its shell. How about how the turtle got its shell? All right. How do you?
That's what I meant.
So let's think about that. How do you think? What kind of story could we have of how this turtle got its shell. I'm going to write some things down here. So there's this animal. You can imagine what the turtle would look like without any shell on it.
It's naked.
He's
would look
crawling
gross.
around and he's really slow.
And
Because he's really slow, everybody can pick on him. And it feels really bad because he can't get out of the rain very fast. A tree limb falls on him, it hurts. He can't get out of the way from something coming down on him. So what would happen if suddenly he would get a shell?
it will help him survive through all those things.
It would help him survive. So, you know what a shell looks like to me? It kind of looks like a shield.
Ew.
And a lot of times people would get shields because they did something really, really good and they helped somebody, and so they'd be given it as a gift. So if he was given that as a gift, who would give him a gift of a shield so that he could protect himself? Because he protected them. Yes.
God.
Who's God?
The person above.
Isn't God? A grasshopper.
She heard the spider.
Who would he help? Who would a turtle help?
A little ant.
A little ant. That's a good idea.
What?
So the turtle helps this ant because the ant's scurrying around all the time. He's really fast. And the turtle's really slow, but the ant's really little. And so the turtle's used to getting hit anyway. And something really big's going to come and fall down. And the turtle stands over the ant because it's like, hey, I could hit on all the time. And this will keep the ant from getting squished. And the ant is really happy about it. So ants live in what? There's a whole bunch of ants out there. So all the ants could get together. And don't the ants have a queen?
Yes.
Aha. So the queen of the ants, because he protected maybe her favorite ant, her warrior ant, all of the ants go out together. And where would they find this shell, this great gift to give to the turtle? Yes.
Maybe they would find it like a rock and hollow it out. Ooh! A mossy rock and hollow it out.
We've got an ant.
That's the proper now, woman.
That's good.
Gangster, yo.
Okay, so they get a mossy rock. And they work and they work and they work on all those thousands and millions of ants, hollow it out, and they bring him this gift, this shield, because he protected them with a shield.
And then the moss just then he couldn't soaked in.
And a lot of turtles are green, aren't they? Maybe that's why
The moss soaked in.
The moss soaked in, and that's why the turtle has a green shell. Okay.
And then the I'm not done.
Okay. All right, guys. I think that
How drums were made?
how drums were made. Oh, we're still going on some more. Sure. How is drums made? How are they made? What does a drum sound like in nature? We just did some things with which would be what?
A band?
A band, but what in nature? We talked about
Rocks
rain.
and sticks.
Thunders, yeah. So if you've got, so drums kind of sound like thunder.
Okay, I don't need to buy those.
So how drums were made? How would they be made? Why would somebody want to make something that sounds like thunder?
Just soothe them down.
To soothe them?
My mom says that the sound of thunder is soothing. She goes to sleep listening to thunder and I'm up all night.
Stupid people! You sit there. The stupid people. One tends to stay up thunder, but they want to calm down. You play a drum, they just calm down instead.
I'm like, I can't sleep.
Oh, okay. So they had to make the drum to calm the people down. We could do that too. But I tell you what, because of where we're at right now, and because of what we've got, I'm going to let you guys try some of these instruments. So I'm going to let you kind of sit there. We'll pass them around in a circle. And I'm going to take these two stories. We've got our two good stories about Zach and the other story about how the turtle's shell came to be. And I'll write those up and I'll send them over to Miss Smart, and she can read them to you next time you guys get together. And you'll know that they are going to be on their way to Ireland.
I'm probably not going to be here.
You aren't.
He's going to try to get
invite
into
you back again.
He's going to come to, and if he doesn't, he can just come on me.
You'll have to come just to hear the story. There's nothing else.
He's trying to join in.
Okay.
Can I try the history of South Africa?
We'll start it, and
My grandma was South African.
I'll tell you what, when you play it, count to 4 and then pass it to the next person.
Try doing it slowly. It sounds different when you go slow than when you go fast.
What is this? What do you do with this? What do you do with this? I'm gonna ride my motorcycle. I'm riding my motorcycle. No, I already. Oh, so he already got this. Oh, you baked it. What? That's bamboo. What? How do you play this? What do I do with them?
It's around. Shake it.
Is this made out of a tree bark?
Yes, that was a tree bark.
How did they get it like? This is out of the
That's cool.
I missed the meeting.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to take it from you.
No problem.
Guys, listen, it sounds like breathing.
It's just the leaf that makes the tone. There's nothing inside that sound there. Okay.
Mommy, listen. Mommy, listen, it sounds like breathing.
What's it called again,
Let's pass it to Jacob.
Breathing. How do I do this?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, pretty common.
I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna try this. Wait, how can you How much do you want for that? How much is the main song? I want one. I want one of those. Me too. It sounds like the
Very good. I'm going to let you guys try one more.
Mommy, where's your can we go down the elevator?
This is the last one, but you've got to really watch how to do this because it's tricky. You've got to keep your hand flat because, watch, I'll show you. If I go around it, and I've got to keep this touching the bowl, and then it'll make a sound. And it's going to vibrate, it's going to tickle your hand. But if I lift my hand up, there's no sound.
Don't put dry ice in there.
So you're so my hand has to stay completely flat. to be able to make it. Is that copper? It is not. It's a mix of
It will make a screeching sound. It kind of looks like
and your fingers can't be ready.
I hate this.
Your fingers should have.
Have you ever heard it? Gold nugget sandwich.
Here you go.
Have you ever played dry ice? Mommy, can I wash the dishes? And then she said, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I got the bowl and I put dry ice in there. It was plastic, like toy. I put dry ice in it and I poured water in it and then soap and it exploded. With bubbles and I just threw dishes in there and then took them out. I pushed them around a little bit.
May I try this?
Took them out and then and she's like, I can do that so fast. I'm like, why not we go dry ice it fast, water. Yeah. But we don't have to do it right now because we have a music program. Makes it. Okay, now that's a creepy thing. I memorized one song. You hear one of the songs we sing?
Yes, what are they?
This is the only one I memorized.
Don't be afraid. Hold it.
I'm the shortest one in my class, and I'm in third grade. I'm the shortest one in my class. That means you're gonna be the biggest grown up. I'm not the biggest one. There's 2 more kids.
I still don't have any names.
And JCOBC, JCOBW.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What?
I don't know why it's not sounding right tonight.
He's not JCOBC. He's my neighbor. He's from next half over. He's from and actually goes to Guild right now, but he's going to
Next year, he was on the waiting list. He got in. That's cool.
This was good. Jacob, see if you can do it.
Jacob C, Jacob W. I left my Minecraft when we did it. That's cool. I was right on tablets. Yeah.
But you can just flow into the one, which is what I was going to say getting, just to have this.
What I needed to do
Thank you.
Hey, Hannah.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
Let's go down the elevator.
Hey guys, can y'all get more of me?
Thank you! Okay, calm down.
We get the 4 of you together and let them get a picture, the 4 of you just standing together.
And then can we go down the elevator?
Let's have the 4 of you stand right up here. And then Adrienne can
I call by my neighbor.